All the extra questions. Hi everyone, I'm Deacon Simon. I was a teacher for 8 years before I joined the seminary, so I'm a teacher of science and mathematics. Okay, just pick one. Describe yourself in 3 words. Friendly. I'm a friendly person. Most people enjoy talking to me. I'm a routine person, so I enjoy having a schedule. I am okay with eating the same food. That doesn't irk me, that doesn't bother me at all. The third word is I'm an introvert. When I'm around large crowds of people, it drains my energy. I'm a functional extrovert. So when the need calls for it, I can be extrovert. After I give my sessions, after I interacted with you all, if you see me sitting by the corner by myself, this is okay, just let me be by myself for a while because it's my time to recharge. It's not that I don't like you all or anything like that, it's just that that's me. Do you have a secret talent? What is it? One of the talents that I have would be to actually play the keyboard. So growing up, I actually have no music experiences, no background in music reading. It was only in the seminary where I learned through the encouragement of my brother seminarians to pick up playing an instrument, right? For the love of the community, for the love of God. Even though I have to practice quite a bit of effort in that sense, I've come to really enjoy that, right? And music has therefore also become part of the way I play at times. Tell us a teacher joke. So I always like to do this for my students before we start the exam. You can always look up for inspiration, or you can look down at your paper in desperation. Whatever you do, don't look left and right for information. Of course, you can always look to me for clarification, but I don't promise that my answer will be to your satisfaction. And when I say this, the students laugh and I say, Mr. Ho, how can you be like that? What's one thing that should be taught in school that isn't? Housework. How to do housework. For me as a seminary, when I joined the seminary, it's like, okay, I do all this by myself. And it's like, am I ironing my clothes at the right temperature setting? I'm going to burn my clothes instead. There were times when I felt I might have burnt a bit of my clothes because I think the temperature is a bit too high, so my iron was sticking to the clothes. I was like, oh dear, hopefully nothing happens to this. What is the wildest thing you have ever done? I'm a very sane and safe person, so I don't do very much wild things. But there was once I just decided at the spur of the moment to take a bus ride from where my university was in Ithaca, a 9-hour bus ride to Albany. Why? Because my university's ice hockey team were playing the finals against Harvard. And between Cornell and Harvard, there's this big rivalry for ice hockey always. And I kind of enjoy ice hockey a little bit. Out of the blue, out of the wild moment, it was just like, okay, they're in the finals, let me just book a bus right down. And I went down without actually knowing where Albany was. And in those days, there's no GPS on your phone, so you can't really have a map on your phone. I didn't even know where the hotel is, just randomly booked the hotel, got a space there and just made my way there to just watch the finals. But it was good. I enjoyed myself very much. And Cornell won. What's your mother's name? And tell me something about her. So my mom is Teresa Wong. She's the prayerful woman in the family. So she's the one that really passed on the faith to me. She's the one who taught me how to pray. She's the one that brings me to church. She's the one that brings us to charismatic meetings, to when Lourdes came to Singapore, all these experiences. She's the one. Without my mom's faith, without her passing on the knowledge of Jesus to me, I wouldn't be where I am today. My mom actually had difficulties with my vocation. I'm a very obedient person, right? So I grew up respecting authority, and I still remember when I was preparing for my confirmation, my mom came, and she's a prayerful woman. I wasn't praying at that point in time yet. So my mom just came to me and says, oh, God is not calling you to the priesthood. God is just asking you to serve the church as maybe a catechist, as a minister of Holy Communion, those kind of roles like lay people do. But later on in my journey, as I go through university, as I go through an experience with a call, my mom's objection was challenging for me because it's like, how is God working through this? I seem to get a sense of excitement in wanting to serve the church, a passion in serving the people of God, in bringing the faith to people. And at the same time, my mom is the one who keeps saying, no, God is not calling to the priesthood. Part of the process was for me to also understand where she is coming from. She wasn't ready to let me go in that sense. By the time I came back from my studies in the States, I was my mom's primary care provider. So she was expecting that I will be with her and look after her all the way into old age. That fear of loneliness that all our parents have, right? As they grow old, there's always a desire that someone will be there to be with them. And I've got to learn how to listen to the voice of God amidst all the tensions, amidst all the challenges. So eventually my mom did grant me permission to enter the seminary. I joined the seminary in 2014. It was only in 2013, the Feast of Christ the King, when my mom finally said, okay, if you feel that God is calling you to the priesthood, then go. I know that she fully accepted it more when a few years back when she was in hospital. She had internal bleeding, and we were worried that we would lose her. And then my mom told me that when she was going through the procedures and everything, she was praying very hard that she would pull through because she wants to see me through the ordination. So that was when the first time she articulated to me that she has come to terms with the vocation. Finish the sentence. At first glance I might seem blank, in reality I am blank. So I always get this a lot. At first glance I might seem young, but in reality I'm actually past 40s already. So there's a joke I always tell the parishioners when I was in seminary: if I ever don't make it through the seminary and I come out, I will volunteer myself to be SK2 model. It's a very special feeling in some sense because the last ordination at Sacred Heart Church was 61 years ago. Monsignor Francis Lau. He was the last priest to be ordained there. I wasn't even sure whether I will be able to be ordained at Sacred Heart Church because of COVID situation. So when Bishop agreed to hold it at Sacred Heart Church, to me it was like, wow. And furthermore, it's the Feast of the Sacred Heart itself. I see the hand of the Lord in all this, even the date itself, June 24th, because June 24th is the Feast of Sacred Heart. But normally, June 24th is the Feast of John the Baptist. And one of the saints who I have affinity to in my own journey as of formation, everything, is John the Baptist himself, right? The friend of the bridegroom, who says that I must decrease so that the bridegroom can increase. So to me, there's really no better date in that sense. And it's wonderful to go back to the people at Sacred Heart Church on their feast day, to be ordained there by the bishop, but with their prayers and support, because these are the people who, after I came back from the States, I was with Sacred Heart for 10 years. So these are the people that, in a sense, I journeyed in the faith journey with. So looking forward to that. But to see also how the hand of the Lord is working in all this, in the so-called coincidences of life, but in the perspective of faith is the providence of God. What kind of priest do you hope to be? I don't have great ambitions. I just pray for simple faithfulness. My primary school motto at the La Salle, Semper Fidelis, always faithful. I think that was something that I pray for at this time, to always be a faithful priest. But faithful in what sense? To be faithful to Him first and foremost. And because of that faithfulness to Him, to be faithful to whatever He's asking of me. Faithfulness also means to be faithful to return to the Lord. I'm not a superhuman, so I will not be faithful as much as I would love to be faithful to the Lord in every way, there will be times that I will fail. But even in most moments when I fail, in my prayer I come to realize I can be faithful in simply returning to the Lord quickly. Pray for me to be a faithful priest, right? To be faithful to whatever the Lord is asking of me. To be a zealous priest, to be a holy priest, to be a priest of the heart for the people of God. But for me, the basic is fidelity. Not to do my own will, but to do the will of the one who is sending me.